Hello, I'm Sister Joanna Ionati, Art and Spirituality Coordinator at Wisdom House Retreat and Conference Center. We've all been gifted with 5 senses to take in the world around us and to appreciate it. Today I'd like to invite you to experience the gift of sight through the art of photography. Here in the Marie-Louise Trichet Gallery, we have an exhibit of the photography of Richard Wanderman. The title of the exhibit is Getty Center Abstractions. With his camera, Richard has been able to take in some of the architecture of the Getty Center in Los Angeles and bring back to us some abstractions we would have never imagined on our own. So I'd like to present to you now Richard Wanderman with some reflections on his experience and his work.
I'd like you to imagine driving up the crowded 405 freeway in Los Angeles, parking in a parking structure that has no particular look to it, getting on a tram, taking a 10-minute ride up a hill in the quiet, almost Zen-like atmosphere of this tram. The doors to the tram open, and you walk out into a courtyard, open courtyard, that is surrounded by cathedral-like architectural structures, clad in steel that is beige-white and limestone. And you look around and wonder where you are. You certainly aren't in Los Angeles anymore. What brought me to the Getty Center originally was visiting my now 96-year-old mother in 2004. She thought that this was something I needed to see, and she dragged me, not unwillingly, over to the Getty Center. The first time I went to the Getty Center, I took one picture that isn't in this show that, on reflection, showed me that there was more to this place than just the feeling of all of these wonderful buildings. There was a way of looking at this architecture that I had really not experienced before. And I took this picture. I didn't know what I was going to get, but later, many years later, in reviewing the images that I had taken over time at the Getty Center, this image stood out. Subsequent visits to the Getty Center, I went with the intention of making more images that had whatever that first image had in it and trying to distill that vision. But over the years since 2006, I've returned to the Getty Center with the intention of trying to distill this particular imagery and idea of these smaller abstract pieces of this architecture. This is a smaller idea of what I see as interesting pieces of the vision of Richard Meyer, the architect, who tends to be minimalist, almost Bauhaus-like, very functional. And I like architecture like that, although it tends to leave me cold at times. But when I look at the space, feel the space, and then look at the particular details of the space, I get very excited about the things that he's done. And so these images are details, staircases, railings, curves on buildings, different views from views that you might see ordinarily in walking around the Getty Center that I've seen over time and have been meaningful to me. I've always been interested in detail, be it macro photography and small things, and the details of the way things are made, the technical details and the visual details, but I've never really mixed that with photography. And the experience of putting this collection together has allowed me to connect my interest in the details of things with larger forms, like architectural forms. So I've, in a sense, used Richard Meyer's architecture as sculpture and looked at the details of that sculpture. And I probably will continue to have that vision for the rest of my photographic career and life. And I'll probably continue to visit the Getty Center as long as I continue to visit my mother in Los Angeles, which I hope is for many years to come.